I was just going to clean my screen a little bit. Is that better? Hello, Dorothy. How are you doing? I got so much stuff on my table. Excuse me, guys. Oh, God, what a mess. Now you're crooked. Hi, how are you doing? Did you get any snow, Dorothy? I saw it was snowed there a bit. Did you get any out where you are? Dorothy lives close to where I do, in Canada. Oh, God. My eyes are getting better every single day. My eyes are getting better every single day. That's my mantra. Yeah, a little bit, eh? Yeah. Well, that's okay. Kitty is doing good. Kitty is my peanut. Kitty is sleeping the longest sleep ever, which is okay. But I was planning to go out and do something. So I was waiting for him to wake up to feed him and then put him down again for his nap. So funny. And then go out again. Well, he has slept for so many hours this morning, totally unexpected, that I'm just waiting. His name is Peanut now, because it's a boy, not a girl. Started out naming her Athena when I thought she was a girl. But it's Peanut. But Peanut suits him so much because he is he's just a little go-getter, that guy. He has no fear whatsoever. He's a little Peanut. That's what I started calling him. He's so cute. But seriously, I'm enough of this getting up at night feeding. Yeah. And rearranging my whole schedule around his feeding and nap time. It's pretty crazy. So, yeah, he'll find a good home soon. All right, but I wanted to talk about, I don't know what time it is there. Weird about the tails. Yeah, really weird. I thought someone chewed it off. An animal chewed it off. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this crazy midlife phase and the things that we're not, well, it's not that, I guess our generation, right? Like the way we were raised is when our mothers and stuff raised us, they were raised in such a different environment. I think the biggest gap is my parents, to me, our age groups, because we were, they were raised, hi, Carrie. They were raised, our parents were raised sometimes without heat, water, electricity in some cases in these old farms. And then they were raised on farms and raised with completely natural food, no preservatives, no junk, right? And then, and then we grow up and we're no computers, no technology yet, and pretty good food. But then now, what we're faced with now, and the jobs and the working and the inflation and how much stress there is on women in midlife now is so different, so different. And so that's why our parents or our mother may not have told us. And anyways, back then, our mothers didn't really talk, it wasn't at least for most women, it wasn't like we were friends, the way we probably raised our kids, right? Things were different. Women just didn't talk about those types of things. Maybe they were embarrassed. Maybe they didn't know what they were going through. So they just kind of kept it alone. This whole menopause change, all we knew about was the hot flashes. That's all I knew about. But when I look back now, I see the changes my mom was going through. And I also remember some of the emotional things and different things that I'm wow, she was going through some big stuff, right? But it just was not talked about. And so when we get to this phase now, most women, it's what is all this? And I have women message me, I just got it today again, pretty much every single day, and post on my Facebook community, on my YouTube videos, so much about, yeah, that's right. I guess so. In the 70s, those types of foods really started to come out. Squeeze of cheese. Yeah. Oh, where was I? Talking shit. Sorry. No. Right. So we were not told about, like, all I knew was hot flashes. That's it. That's literally all I knew. I didn't think there was anything else. And I get messages all the time, pretty much every day through my Messenger, Facebook, and through YouTube about women who are like going through these crazy, they had no idea. So they saw one of my videos and they're like, oh my God, is that it? And so they message me and go, do you think this is what I'm feeling? This, I'm feeling that, I'm feeling no one understands. And my doctor says nothing's wrong with me and I don't know what to do and I don't know where to go. You know, I just hear this desperation and this like, what the hell is going on with me? You feel like you're going crazy. Now, not everyone experiences that. Not everyone at all. Because we all are different. Thing is that if you have been eating some of the packaged food, right, and the junk food and the food with preservatives and chemicals, or if you've been eating a lot of the white rices, white breads, all of those things, let's say someone was not raised with healthy food, what happens is that affects your hormones, that affects your moods, that affects depression. So of course, when midlife comes, then all of a sudden you start gaining weight like crazy. You go almost into like a depression, brain fog, really bad, completely unbalanced hormonal levels, which cause all of the symptoms to be exaggerated, right? Exaggerated. And then if you have not learned any coping techniques or coping things as you were growing up, then you don't know how to handle those things. So you're like, oh, hi, Lynn. So you know, the emotional part of it is something that no one really understands or knows. And so they almost feel like, oh my God, I think I am going crazy. Like, why am I all of a sudden feeling these things? Why do I feel it? Like, what is going on? And, you know, if you've raised a teenage girl, you're going through the same thing as adolescents. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just the opposite hormones we're dealing with. But the imbalance in progesterone and estrogen causes all of this. As well, I mean, there's other, right, there's insulin, there's cortisol, all the hormones. But basically, you're going through another huge hormonal fluctuation. Well, of course, hormones are the chemicals. They affect every single thing in our life. So that's why our life can feel like it's just like blowing up in front of us. You know, you don't know yourself anymore. You don't know your body anymore. Nothing works the same. It all feels totally different. So what you got used to in your 20s, 30s, and even early 40s is not at all the way you run, the way you think, the way everything is anymore. And that leaves you like, what the hell just happened? I didn't do anything. So you feel like I haven't changed anything. Why is nothing working anymore, right? Well, that's because it is it's the hormones that control. They're the chemicals of your body. So when you hear chemical imbalance, she has a chemical imbalance, or that is hormones, you guys. That's what they are. That's what they're talking about. Yeah. I feel like I'm watching a crazy woman. Yeah. And no control. I don't like it. I'd rather have no. Yeah. Yes. And hot flashes will come. And that's a funny thing is people think they usually come later. They come like pretty much when you've been menopause. Like, so I had hot flashes, but once I mainly finished perimenopause. So when your moods start to balance out a little better, your estrogen starts to decrease a lot more. And that's when you get the hot flashes. But when progesterone is starting to decrease first and you're higher in estrogen, that's when you feel like you're going crazy. Lynn, are yours emotional symptoms? Is that what it's going through now? Is you're feeling more of the emotions of it? Or so the physical would be the digestive problems, memory problems, brain fog, cravings, crazy cravings, emotional, yeah. Yep. That's the thing that is, you know, when I started, I'm like, who the hell, what is anxiety? I didn't even know, you know, I'd heard women have anxiety, but I'm like, I had never experienced anxiety before until I was in perimenopause. And then I was like, what the hell is this? Like, and then I also had the emotional up and downs of crying and over emotional and over stressed and feeling overwhelmed and feeling like I wanted to hide. I literally did not want to see anybody. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. We don't feel like ourselves. And the hard thing is your spouse doesn't understand. Your kids don't understand. Anybody around you who's not going through that or hasn't gone through it, they don't understand what's wrong. And so, of course, they can just say, well, you're just, why are you feeling like it? So it makes you feel like it's just me. I'm going crazy. I don't understand. I'm trying to stop this, but I can't. Now, I remember when my daughter was going through adolescence, of course, I hadn't gone through perimenopause. when we're bringing up a daughter who's going through adolescence, we kind of forget what we went through. Thank God, probably. But I remember her saying to me, crying. She hid in a closet and she was crying. And she was saying, I don't understand what's going on with me. Why am I feeling like this? What's wrong with me? Right? And I'm like, oh my God, honey, it's okay. Like you're gonna, but it's so hard to understand that it's going to pass, because it can feel like I cannot live like this, right? Like you could feel like I can't live like this any longer. Like I don't want to live my life like this, but you won't. You won't. It passes. Yeah, it passes. And the thing is that it's almost like it is a true time for you, for all of us, to go within, but also learn things like you need to get more, like a meditation or whatever works for you. Walking meditation worked for me because I could not sit really still and just meditate. That wouldn't work for me. So sometimes it works for people, sometimes it doesn't. But I did walking meditations. One of the best things for me was to get out into the woods, into the trees, and walk. Listen to something. Sometimes I would listen to like videos like Abraham Hicks or positive messages, because I knew I needed to fill my brain with positive messages. That was the only way I could cope, was to know there's some positive stuff out there, because I was feeling so down and so negative and so not myself, right? Not myself at all. Yes, that's what I was going to talk about too, Dorothy. Absolutely. Food. Good fats too, like Dorothy knows about good fats. It is crucial that you have good fats in that phase of your life. Crucial. Good fats, good lean proteins, which if you're vegan can be vegan proteins. So good preservatives. But if you're vegan, you have to watch the preservatives in junk. So read all labels. Also, if you happen to be vegan during perimenopause, menopause, it's a really tough thing to do, because all those grains, all those lentils, all those beans put weight on in midlife. They're going to put weight on, and they're going to cause bloating and digestive problems and puffiness. Most cases, that's what happened. And so when you're used to eating those things, being as a vegan in midlife, it's like, what the hell? I can't, right? So that's just one note about it. I was raw vegan, so that's a route you could take, is to go raw vegan, but you have to do it right. You cannot do that wrong, right? If you're in midlife. Okay, but I'm not going to get into that. But we are talking about the crazy ride that it is, and about, and avocados, things like that, coconut oils, nuts and seeds. But it's really a time of life when you're being called, like, so it is a phase of your life. We are meant to become a different person in midlife. So if we look back culturally, if you look back historically, biologically, all these different things, women in this phase of life are becoming the wise women, their kids. So this is the way it's kind of supposed to be, right? Our kids have grown, they're out of the house, they have their own lives. So 100 years ago, that's the way it was. Kids were gone, out of the house, they had their own lives. You were not working. You would now slow down. So that's a woman in midlife 100 years ago. And before that, it's only very, 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 very recent. In human life, so recent, a little pin, that we have gone so crazy for women in midlife. There's cultures that have never experienced menopause. Well, the feelings of, the symptoms of perimenopause. Not that they hadn't received any symptoms, but very few. They wouldn't even know what we were talking about, right? Because they still follow some of the old traditions. So if you look at, the Chinese are a lot different now, though, but they always had rituals, very strong rituals, spiritual work, exercise, energy work, energy medicine, which is Chinese medicine too, the meridians of the body. They recognize, so if you're looking at the Indian cultures, the Chinese cultures a lot, even the North American, they recognize different aspects of the body, where it may be spiritual aspects or physical, like actual energy, which the Chinese do a lot with, right? Energetic bodies and things like that. So what happens in midlife is our hormones are out of balance. So that's put our physicalness, the biological thing, out of balance. But what also is energetically, we become completely out of balance. So your emotional, your spiritual sense, your all of that, our energetic bodies, because we are doing things that are so different than 100 years ago. We're expected to work full time, clean the house, do the dinners, set up all the appointments, and maybe now take care of aging parents. We've been in a high stress job, let's say, or worked a lot. So your adrenal glands are supposed to take over the production of the hormones, but they cannot because they're too tired because of stress. So now they can't produce the hormones. So then therefore, oh my God, you're even in more hormone fluctuation. You are feeling more stress than ever. You're feeling like, I can't get out of this. So then you begin to feel stuck, hopeless, helpless. There's nothing I can do. I have to live this way. And that's not a good place to be. That's not a good place to be, right? So things have changed so much in such a short period of time that, but it was half as strong. The story was the same. Yeah, you can take, and what I do highly recommend is adaptogens, and you can buy blends like Lorna. I forget her last name. She's a Canadian. I can post the link for the US lady who's got a hormonal supplement blend and the Canadian one for you guys, okay? That'll be good. But yeah, so I mean, we're handling a lot of different things during this phase of life, and that is why. And because we're expected to do way more than we were 100 years ago. So if you're looking at why am I feeling like this? Why am I going through this? What's happening to me? It's because of so many different types of imbalances that are going on in your body. And so what it calls you to do, it is calling you to do to take care of you. This is your time. It always was supposed to be your time. It was always meant to be your time, this midlife phase, for women to be taken care of, to take care of themselves, to be respected, to have self-love, and to be journeying into the next phase of your life. But what happens is you're not journeying into, you think that you cannot even get to another phase of life until you retire at 65 and have enough money saved up. So what you're saying to yourself internally, there's nothing I can do now. I have to work this hard, do all this stuff. I cannot retire. I cannot relax. I cannot enjoy life until I'm 65 and I can finally retire. So what do you think's going on? How do you think your emotional body's going to handle that? And how do you think your energetic body handles that? Not very well. Your soul is going, are you serious? I have to do this for another 10, 20 years before I can enjoy my life? I'm out of here, right? So what happens is, that's why you guys, emotional eating is emotional eating. There's a reason. It's not like, oh my God, I have a disease that's called emotional eating. No, you don't. You eat because you have emotional issues that you haven't dealt with, right? And that's what, same as eating for stress, eating. If you can't stay on track, if you're always on again, off again, if you're always procrastinating, those are all the inner game. And now we know the inner game is completely affected by our hormonal system. You know that because you're going through the crazy emotions, the up and down. You actually crave certain foods way more and intensely. But does that have to be? The cravings, no, because women in my program have gotten rid of their cravings by eating properly. So the cravings do not have to. I know that for a fact because it happens all the time. The weight gain is huge, right? Yeah, the weight gain. The weight gain is absolutely what you eat and toxins, not releasing the toxins. So, things like nutritional cleanses, finding a good nutritional cleanse, doing some cleanses, intermittent fasting. But I wouldn't try intermittent fasting until you eat a more balanced diet, right? Like when you're eating foods that are really actually healthy for you and not unhealthy foods. Yeah, because stress will make everything worse. Stress will, how's my video? You know, if you have stress, oh, there we go. But I'm doing a 5-day reset. If you guys haven't seen that, I think most people have which is great. So sign up for my 5-day reset, which is going to take place in private Facebook group. So we're going to be talking about stress, and we're going to talk about toxic emotions, and we're going to be talking about sabotage resistance, etc., etc. Okay, so get in there. And that's my free one. And then we are going to, I have a 21-day program starting on January 14th. And that absolutely deals with the mind, body, spirit, all of it. And we start in a way from this one that I'm starting January 14th is for like people who are kind of like beginning with this whole and going, oh my God, like just help me with what to eat. I need to handle these stress, these emotions, all of this stuff. So it's about giving you action, like really doable action steps and foods and recipes and information about getting started and how to change things for you. But note that women in my programs, I have people who are paleo, I have people who are keto, I have people who are vegetarian and who are vegan. So what you got to do is find what works for you, right? So I work with women on finding the way of eating and living that works with them personally. So that's what you find that out for yourself. I don't tell you. I take you through a process where you learn what works for you. And so much is the internal game too, is like, because we say often, I can't find time. There's no way I could do this. I hate doing this. I don't like that. I don't know what I'm going to do. All of those types of wording and thoughts and patterns that produce actions, results. That's what we work on getting rid of too, because they don't serve you. They only keep you in the same loop and pattern and doing the same things over and over again, not getting results. And in midlife, I'm afraid that if you don't change, it's not that nothing's going to change. You know that saying, if you don't change, nothing's going to change. Well, actually in midlife, if you don't make the changes, it's going to get worse. So there's no staying. It just gets worse. So if you don't change what you eat, if you don't handle your emotions and all of those things, you will absolutely go on a decline. That's just what's going to happen. It's not like your 20s and 30s anymore. It is just not. I know, Lynn. I know. There's I'll talk to you about one. Amy Jo. You know Amy Jo. She's living in Oregon now. I am going on with her and talk to her about a good cleanse. A really good cleanse, Lynn. I want to do it as soon as I can get it. I can't do it here. Can't get it here. So yeah, good cleanse. Things like colonics is really good too. I did cleanses, I did colonics, I did water fasts, I did juice fasts, all of those types of things too, right? I'm like, get the toxins out of my body. And that helped me release weight a lot better, a lot faster. But yeah, so anyways, I just wanted to jump on and say, so people who are really at that phase, at this phase, you know, I hear you, I understand you, I was there, but I'm also here to tell you there is so much you can do to get relief. You can feel better, and you can feel better within 1 to 2 weeks. I've seen it over and over again with my clients. I know I got to post the testimonials. I have so many testimonials, you guys, but they don't want their names used, and I have to block out their names. But my 21-day program is coming. DianaMarchand.com/21-day-program-release. Should have thought of that better. Very good. And then my 5-day reset, which is totally free, starting Wednesday, January 9th. If you're in the UK, Australia, New Zealand, it's Thursday, January 10th. That is free, and I will post the link below for that. All right. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions about anything specific to do with this time of life? Good for you, 8 pounds. That's really good, Dorothy. All right, ladies. Thank you so much for watching. And if anybody's watching the replay and wants maybe even some one-on-one coaching, I do one-on-one calls. Like we can have one call or just 2 calls, or also a 6-week or 4-week program with me one-on-one, which is totally customized. So I do that too. So please feel free to reach out to me. I'm here for you. I get it. I understand. I do levels of programs, all different levels. I even have a Where to Start program for $67, which is you get all the information right away. So feel free to reach out because I have so many ways to help you. Plus I also have, 700 videos on my YouTube channel. So you can look there. Diana Marchand, my YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. And if you're not in Women Creating Healthy Lives, my Facebook community for women over 40, make sure you're part of it. All right. Bye-bye.